Mess with fire, now it's closing. you've ever been. You've ever been.
All right, thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we will do the same. We'll going right into the charts without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go. Well, let's check it out. So BTC had that little retrace to the downside. We haven't really gone anywhere. We are in mid-week reversal, bouncing off of the 786 of the bearish trend-based fib extension level and retracing down beneath the 1 level and starting to hold this regression trend equilibrium line of this downward sloping channel. Are we going to start to see a bounce to the upwards part of the channel or fall back down to the bottom part and reclaim the consolidated longs in full that we've gone over the last few weeks? Let's go into the heat map from HighBlock, shall we? What is the heat map? Well, that's when people lock their liquidity into the charts and get burnt to the crisp for not using a stop loss. And we get to see where those crispy characters lie, and we get to yell fatality at them. So let's go see who got crispy today. All right. Also, please consider hitting that like if you have not already, and subscribe for more if you want to see HighBlock Capital in its glory each and every day as we present it to you. So they did come back down to the 26437 character at 50x, $218 million pool down here.
Fatality.
Yes, and God rest their souls. And then they came back and retraced into the 100x pools of the shorts that opened up here and continued lower as the bubbles opened in a frenzy. And so you have a frenzied 50x bubble pool here in this level all the way up to 27k even. So all these 50x are still lying in wait. You have this character at 91 million at 26,629. It is imbalanced from that peak there from the longs that it pinged over here. So the interest in shorts is still high. You do have a larger long entering here on this breakout here, which they may go back to get. They do like to go back for those 100x characters at 26,303. So they might go back to that 100x noodle here on the bottom of this price action here, and maybe his partner in crime who just opened up here at $29 million 100x pool. So we have about an hour for the New York Open, and the Bataan Pass to London is also about an hour or 30 minutes or so from that. So you can look for that London close / Bataan Pass to New York for a potential move. Looks like it's thicker here down below into this region at 25,898, since they're hop, skip, and a jump at that 25,898. That would put you quite a mighty distance away from the price where we're at right now, which is 26,434. You'd have to drop $600 to go grab that pool, but in terms of what we're seeing on the 1 minute time frame, you are seeing a thicker band here in that region at 26k. So let's go into the higher time frame and see where the imbalance lies. Let's expand our vision to the higher time frame, shall we? Shout out to everyone here. Bada bing, bada boom, we go. It was really rainy today, and I had to teach alone because somebody called out sick. So I'm a little bit exhausted, just a little bit. So if we go here on the 7-day time frame, it looks like we're imbalanced heavily up to the 28k in short liquidity on the 7-day time frame. They could come up to that 28.2 region to take out these imbalanced and short liquidities, which opened in this manner as we retrace down here. We talked about that imbalance possibly coming back into that. It's probably about $30 billion, just eyeballing it real quick. So you could probably come back into that $30 billion up at the 28k region based off the 7-day time frame. However, you have to juxtapose with the monthly, the 3-month, the 6-month, and the yearly to get a better sense of the narrative. And the monthly does have some pools still lurking below at 24.5. If we do make that stab down to the lower lows, they're sitting in wait as it gets hotter on those longs that are just out of reach, most likely 10x or 5x characters that are trying to take a move to the upside here. Are they going to take that with the Binance FUD? We're going to look into Binance coin a little bit and try to juxtapose and glean some sort of thing a little bit different than normal after a moment of doing BTC. I have some weird suspicion that Binance would potentially put their investments into Bitcoin. Okay, so 3-month time frame, you did get that 100 billion liquidity grab we talked about for weeks. So they did grab that 120 billion correction there, and the 62 billion at 25.2 and 41 billion at 25 even are still waiting to be grabbed. You are getting a nice narrative of double digits starting to appear to the upside if there were some FUD to send us higher. It's kind of ironic because as there was FUD coming out, they surged it, right? This is why I don't like to listen to news, because the Silicon Valley Bank did the same thing. The Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, then surged it up when everyone was confused whether to go long or short. And in similar fashion, they might just make a play to the opposite direction people would expect would occur with news plays. News is meant to confuse. News is meant to confuse. That's why I don't watch it. So if we look at the 6-month time frame, you got $100 billion at 24.3. That's a large amount of money waiting for you on the 6-month time frame down there. And you do have 100 billion down at 22.5. The imbalance is to the downside still if we are going to continue our retrace lower. yearly time frame. That all starts to fade away, and you start to see the higher time frame pools as we start to lose the range from back here. Sorry to see you go from a year ago as we dropped down into this region. These pools are still thick, but it looks like they're losing some of the pools that were there. So it used to be higher value, but they lost the value because we lost the range. That's quite interesting. It used to be like 100 billion here more. It was thicker in liquidity, and then when we lost the range, we lost the liquidity, but the liquidity is still there. Let's go to the 2-year time frame now and see if that still remains. We might have to use the 2-year instead of the yearly since we lost that range there. There we go. So if we go to the yearly time frame, we got 159 billion, 114 billion, 127 billion up at 33.2, 84 billion, 33.6, 95 billion, 34 even. So the narrative to the upside is still there if you include the pools that we lost on the yearly time frame back here in June of last year. So these pools are significant because there are shorts still open in them, and I like how we can now juxtapose the yearly to the 2-year and see how much of that liquidity is from over here. We can actually, since it's cut on the yearly now, we can see how much of the shorts are in this range here from May 10th to June 9th of last year. Very, very interesting. So it does look on this 2-year time frame that we are slightly imbalanced to the upside. At 32.4, there's larger pools up here, and 114, there's a lot of 100 billion characters up here. If we did spawn the divergence off of the 2-year $115 billion pool down here at 25.2, it looks like it closed out the 25.2 region on this time frame. I guess it hit them at their 80% mark or something on their liquidations. I'm not sure. But if you just zoom out to get the gloom out, and you just see what the pools are as they lie, there's this pool up at 34.8. That was a steady $84 billion. That's still a healthy 100 billion up here at 34.8. So this path to the upside is kind of still there and thicker if I do look at it on this time frame. Just look at this zoomed up. Which one has higher green levels? It looks like it's up here at 32.8 compared to down here. But you do have 148 down here at 24.4. Now, if you peeled out down into this region and cleared this out, that would be mighty juicy zone for looking at a divergence play to the upside if I ever did say so myself. So let's go back to the monthly and then start to paint a picture on the Binance chart. Oh. Okay, so we adjusted our trend-based fib extension level. If this is a true retrace to continue higher, we can adjust it again since the retrace did go lower since that time, so we can move this down to here. Previously we had it to here. We said if you cannot make it above the 236, then you are not bullish, and we did not, so we came down lower. We're looking for another point of interest. We did not get above that 236 at 26,709, and going even lower, if you can make it above this 26,589 region, then we can start to think of these ideas of ranges up above here. So the retrace is not yet over by the looks of it here if we are going to make it out of this range. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw on our oscillators and see what's up. Boom, boom, boom. What is this colorful bit of happiness? This is momentummaster.info, link in the description for more. Scroll down to features, look at it by hitting the toggle switch if you like, and read about each component at your leisure. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening here. I'm going to zoom back to the hourly time frame. Looks like the cloud is switching over to purple, and you're getting a huge selling off event here. Volume kind of leaving, but we're not really going anywhere. We're holding the zone. If you go to our oscillators on oscillator B here on the hourly time frame, you are getting a green vector candle. What does that mean? Well, that is a PVSRA strategy, which is meant to indicate that 200% of the previous 10 candles combined are in this single candle that's occurring right now. So there is a struggle happening in these last 17 minutes that is greater than the last 10 hours of price action. What is it that's going on? Is it this attempt to pierce this thick cloud that's failing and we're getting this algo trading to the downside? Are we going to attempt at a double bottom? We do have the hourly cross-up play in effect here that has yet to be negated on the Fat Boy baseline here. But we're jumping the gun. Well, before we get back to, that's a sneak peek of where we'll come back to. Let's go to the the daily, and make our descent through the time frames. So we previously saw this nice bounce off the weighted moving average on our indicator suite. The cross down event that occurred on the daily that we were worried about got negated completely with that bullish engulfing of that previous day. And then we're seeing the retrace down into this path. We're currently at no level that I'm interested in terms of support potential. Although if you look at the touches combined, then we have these touches down here at 26,100 that we could be looking at on a simple support within that smaller daily level. And if we look at the cloud in its thickness is still thick, but it's curving ever so slightly. Before we get into oscillator B, it is thick, but the angle is in this fashion. But it's premature to say. I would have rather liked to have seen that occur on this here when this was curving in this manner. This is still thick to indicate it having a pierce above it, unless it happens with a mighty candle we haven't seen in a while. So if we look at the 3-day time frame, I think one of these days is closing soon before we go into oscillator B. The 5-day time frame is closing in a day, so that's something interesting to note. The 3-day previously took us to the upside on that. Is the 5-day starting, the money flow starting to come back down here to an agreeable level. Williams at an ambiguous level that could continue higher, and the stochastic reset in a nice way here, getting a buyback quick in that time. So if this all becomes negated and becomes a green candle, you know what's up. So if we go to the daily once again and look at oscillator B, the curvature on the stochastic indicates we could be making an attempt to pierce the 50 level here on the stochastic RSI. The money flow and the RSI are lurking in wait. The previously crossed down MACD is potentially waiting as well for something to cross up here. If you have your alert set, you would get that notification to your phone on oscillator B. If you don't know how to do that, you go to oscillator B, hit the 3 dots, go to alert, and do pump or dump for the crossover on the time frame of your choosing for that MACD cross. You do not need the MACD active to have that alert come to your phone. Okay, so if we go to the 22 hour at those ambiguous points that it likes to do, where it does these cross downs and then could potentially cross up again. It doesn't always mean that it resets here. They do have times where it resets fully, and you have this kind of thing occur to reset it on this time frame too. For the most part, at this level, yeah, you can see kind of downside occur from that level too. It's a ambiguous point. If we look at the previous time that was occurring, we were down here, similar level on the Williams. If we go back to here, we were starting to make a rising sun event out of here for that double top to occur, but even that took you down. So the crosses of this are also to take note of. We still have yet to cross up on the MACD on the 22. Nothing to glean here. We did see the move to the upside on the 22 that we said we don't like to short into that. Looking at the 12-hour, you're also getting that ambiguous, could go either way, could reset, could continue higher. Basically at this level of 70, you sometimes have those dumps completely out of it. On its single rise up to the 70 level, that's kind of a hard rejection point without having gone above a certain level in a similar fashion, coming down and then rejecting lower. Not really liking the confluence for that necessarily, but MACD could cross up. You got the money flow beneath the price. I believe we also had that on the 22. That's the good thing we liked. We also saw that on the three day. If you recall, on the 3-day time frame, that's what we were seeing, the money flow dipping hardcore beneath the price here, or beneath RSI rather, and then you could get this surge up on the 3-day time frame. This also closes in 11 hours, so the 3-day time frame does close in 11 hours. Are you going to close this 3-day bullish? And it does suggest you could with the money flow here, and you do have a double bottom. It could surge up and then come back down for a little bit of a reset there as well. The average I would like to see come down some more for the Williams confluence, but I'll take what I can from that. If we go to the 6-hour time frame and we see this double top potential possibly occurring, the double top is what also gives your 4-hour legs. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, even though we are in momentum with this double top too, the double top of that plus the 6-hour could send you up on this double top scenario. The one thing to note as a potential struggle is the money flow flowing up here in this manner, like so. Money flow flowing up like this, while price flowing down like this. That's kind of a bearish divergence that's starting to occur. Just to note, unless we can make this kind of go up in a manner to negate it, that is some struggle potential happening on the 4-hour time frame money flow. If we look at the money flow here on the cloud is starting to thin in a nice manner, but we would have to reclaim this 236 for anything real to be thought about. So cross up event is in play, baseline still holding, still good in the hood until it's not on the 4-hour time frame. Going to the hourly, we're back to the hourly with that vector candle. We have 9 minutes for this vector to close. We'll see how it closes and what kind of algos it triggers. Once again, if you get above that 26,589 region, then you are basically, if you get candles to close above that and hold, then you could be seeing some plays up to these regions, to the 27,525. Let's see if there's some sort of pool up there to justify the move. 27,525. There's 27,8645. That would take you out of this entire thick pool. So this entire thick region at 27,405, $225 million still up there for the reclamation. You see this long noodle all the way over here. That's that $225 million character here. And they're stacked up quite nicely with a bunch of, some of them 100x. There's a $86 million 100x pool still there, and a 50x character at $106 million. I think that guy got knocked out though, but there is a bunch of other 50x pools in, and you can see the teal color mixed in with the blue here. That is a thick region that it could come up to if it does pierce through all of this. Okay, so you're starting to get 63 million in longs opening up as opposed to 37 in shorts. So there is more interest in longs at this time. So if they are, did they bounce off that 100x? They did not, by the looks of it. They left them alone. And so they are starting to come back into these shorts of the 100x here. If we come up into these pools, the 400 region would have you at this 225 characters. So once again, 27,405, 225 millions at 25x, also linked up with their forensic partners in crime that lead you all the way up to 27,832. So that entire region of 27,832 is thick as a brick, so it could be taken out if we see that come up. 27,482 would have you at this 706 region. I believe we already had this character marked in the charts from before, 482. We're waiting for this guy in this vector candle recovery to potentially come back as well. So this hourly candle closed with this vector level, and the rising sun play double bottom on the Williams is what you want to see for the hourly to play out. We're getting that double top potential. Once again, the 4 hour double top with the 6 hour support could be in place. 12 hour 22 ambiguous. 3-day closing soon could be a hidden bullish event if possible. So one thing we're going to look at real quick is BNB BTC. So people that bought BNB with their BTC, what did they do with it with the FUD that occurred with Binance? Well, guess what? They sold off their BNB into BTC. Right? So on Monday, they sold their BNB into BTC, and then guess what? They continued to sell their BNB into BTC. And what is BTC obviously had a surge. So something interesting to note is that BTC did not do the same thing, right? They initially dropped BTC, but then rose it. So did Binance sell their BNB to buy back in BTC? That is the question. Because if you go to BNB USDT, it also drops and drops. So they're selling off their BNB to buy BTC with it. The fact that BTC went up on Tuesday, but BNB did nothing but continue downside, it seems to me that they're possibly shifting their positions to something they do not control, which is BTC. And that would justify why it had that surge of equal value back up to that region. So are they starting to disguise their assets into BTC to avoid the SEC reclamation of those assets? That'd be funny if you get a FUD pump from Binance itself to protect its own, from reclamation from the SEC. Just a thought, nothing confirmed, no, just a hunch in my mind. But if we go to that, so where are we looking for the futures market? Let's just go see what's happening with that. We also had a sell-off of the futures. The contracts expire in 8 days, I believe 7 days now. So everyone's taking their profits from this long rise to the upside from the NASDAQ, from all of the nice bullish tech news and earnings reports and all that fun stuff with chips. So are we going to see another bounce here? It looks like we got a bounce off of a fib level. If I do retracement here, this does play out too. You got a golden pocket bounce off that if you're playing that from an hour ago, and we could be coming back into some of these vectors. Very volatile, very fun. It's a journey unto itself. If you're interested, those links to get funded to trade this stuff are in the description as well within the Momentum Master Discord. Shout out to everyone in that as well. So if we look at the I have to get ready for that in the next 30 minutes. So if we go back to BTC, is this hourly candle going to close in a manner that has some meaning to start to shift these narratives, or are we just going to see some consolidation back down? Let's see what you guys have to say. You should say me sick too, or you're sick, me sick. I'm not sick. I'm I burn the candle at both ends, and I don't rest enough, so that's probably why I'm worn out a little bit, but it's in a good way. I had some really good days on my live accounts the last 2 days. I'm hoping that continues today. Normally I get totally burnt out for Friday, and I can't even muster the energy to trade on Friday because it's so I've spent too much time in the charts. Good thing though, it's a good thing. All right, so we got this cloud flip on the 15 minute. It could continue higher. We got this kiss off the cloud. We have this dynamic resistance to break through. And once again, the 236 is your confirmation level you need to get above and start seeing some candles above this region for anything nice to be real. You should start seeing it around the London close, similar to here. You had the London close, boom, they dropped it. So you'll see the move in about an hour's time from now. So one more hour for that to occur. Let's try to put it in a picture. Let's paint a picture. Do you want to take my picture? Let's see if we can try to capture the price like lightning in a bottle. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so what was this cloud that we were looking at? I think it was the 12 hour. What was this line here? I'm trying to figure out what that is. The 6 hour? I think it's the 6 hour. There we go. So we can adjust this 6 hour. One interesting thing to note about this 6 hour time frame is that the curve is starting to thin ever so slightly here. I'm liking the preemption of that thinning. It's not as like clear of a smooth angle as this one was to the upside, but it's starting to give that vibaroo as the selling pressure fades, that the 6 hour could be getting pierced at some point. Here you had a pierce, you had a consolidation, boom, to the upside. So we'd have to start to see something that interacts with this 6 hour time frame. When we were here previous, we also had overbought status while we pierced through. So we were talking about this on a Sunday, and we pierced out of here without being oversold at all. So if you do make this double top and start to reclaim the 236 and hold it, and it happens to be above this cloud on the 6 hour time frame, you could be seeing some interesting idea here. The money flow is beneath the RSI, so you could see this kind of come up here. You do have 5 hours for a candle to close on it, so it's anyone's guess. The thinning and thickening idea here, the shenanigans happening, are not making it as clear to read as usual, but you are seeing this potential thinning out idea. If we go to the hourly time frame, the hourly did close. It closed as a spinning top, but in the green. This was just a chill out test of the liquidity, a pinging before the calm before the storm. So we'll refresh this for you one last time and then bid you adieu. Okay, so it looks like you did ping some more long liquidity. Maybe that ping of the candle was to just go back and grab these premature characters, so they'll come back to these 100x guys, knock them out, maybe knock out their partner in crime back here too, the 43 billion, or million rather, and maybe take out those 100x before going down. Stop, hunt low, then shoot it if they're going higher. If they bleed out, they have their partner in crime down in this region at the 26k region, so watch your protect your entry. So as it stands right now, where do we stand? So the hourly time frame is starting to thin, and you're getting that money flow above the price here. You're starting to get that interest in the cloud here, and that piercing is not subsiding. We pierced it one time. Are we going to start to see this curve and pierce above this cloud here, or start to fade out for that double bottom? Coming back for these characters seems to be the play first, so you could watch that and see where the 5 minute takes you. Let's go into the 5 minute. So the 5 minutes looking to reset here and try to take out some of the liquidity that just entered off that ping to the upside here. So they're coming back for this 63 million by the looks of it. Ooh, they might have just got him right there. Let's go see. And they're also pinging shorts and longs at the same time. So So they're entering some more pools of shorts as they go get them. 26.38. When they get to 26.38, he's gone. And that could be it right there. 63 million gobbled up on the live stream. Let's see. 100x. Let's go. Whoa. It went up to 400, so they dropped. I think they might have got him on this chart. We'll just wait and see this guy get gobbled up, and then we'll bid you adieu. Not really seeing anything clear as rain here in the chart, so it looks like they got him. Come on, reflect it here. Oh, there we go.
Fatality.
And they got him. 63 million buying into a green candle. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. So that ping was to steal some liquidity on these guys that premature longed. So looks like you're coming back down for that stop hunt rise, drop to the downside. You'd look for some potential double bottom on this 15-minute reset here. It's just a lot of chop here. It's hard to read in terms of some structure. You are kind of rounding out here in a manner, but when I first looked at it, when I first looked into the charts, I was looking at it on a higher time frame, and I was seeing I first saw this ABC originally, and then now this is kind of looking like consolidating into like another ABC to the downside. But if you basically take the bearish trend-based fib extension level, you could also do that here with the retrace idea here, and this gives you some support, which coincides with the 236 level for shorting all the way down into these regions. So if you start to see bounces, we started to see bounces off the 786, and we're struggling with the trapdoor being opened on the 706 here for the bearish trend-based fib. These could be your levels for a possible bounce if this is not a valid bearish trend. So the 236, this zone, this pocket between is where you see bearish and bullish narrative shifts. So if it goes up into this region and fades, that's a short. If it goes up into this region and surges, that's the long zone above here. And so that's basically my story, and I'm sticking to it. Looks right now as it's could be coming into these lower regions just off the structure here, but you do have that cross up event on the hourly to contend with that has yet to be fulfilled, and you still have the 4 hour in your favor as well. With the thinning cloud, I'd like to see it surge and continue to the upside, but that's just me. I don't want to install a bias in anyone's mind though, but you got to have narratives for both sides, so this is where you're taking it. But I don't really see a clear entry at this exact moment in time. I would suggest there's something that occurs in an hour, and then you can make your judgment call based off the divergence play that plays out there. Alright guys, well I appreciate your time, so I will bid you adieu. Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the precision, the accuracy, and all that fun stuff. I'll see you in the Discord. I'm about to hop into the live analysis for the NASDAQ futures. If you are in the Momentum Master Discord, please hop on in and say what's up. See if we can catch a trade or two. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.